hit your knee?
No, pelvis again. Let's get out.
Thank you, Jeff. Nice one for that. I'll get you a B&O.
I said, you are gone until the break of dawn. But don't you try to ever forget me. There's words in there you could have made.
I see it and see if I need to do it again?
gonna be love.
Thanks for that fresh.
Chill, palikas, ne?
Please sit down, mate.
Oh my God!
Taxi driver in New York. I got into a conversation with him about riding BMX, and it really made me think about the divide between people knowing what it is and not knowing what it is. You know, it's just a completely different world, and the guy literally said to me, he's like, I have no idea about that world.
To explain street riding, I wouldn't consider it a sport or a division of BMX in a sense. It's more of your personal outlook on how you see the architecture of a city or a town or whatever.
There's something about just being able to like go jump on your bike and riding stuff that's not meant to be ridden. With graffiti and stuff, you know how like they don't go out with the intent of like, oh, I'm gonna tear someone's wall up, probably normally, but they're expressing their art, you know, and they're expressing what they want to do. And I guess it's kind of the exact same thing. Like, we don't see the signs that say no, you know, bikes or whatever. We just kind of like are so into what we're doing that it's like we have blinders on. Like, it doesn't matter if the spot's at a federal building, you know, you just kind of like, if you get excited about a spot, you're excited, and it's like you're a little kid again, you know. You don't see any of that other stuff.
It's freedom of expression. Like, you're not confined to any one space or any one area or any one particular thing to ride or anything. You can be as creative as you possibly could want to be. It's an artistic sport. Like, the way people do things and stuff, you try to do it in a certain way. But I feel with street riding, you can go that little bit further.
You know, like for instance, going to a skate park. You have to get in your car, drive, go to the skate park that's meant to be ridden, but you know, you can literally just go outside your house and ride the curb. Endless opportunities, you know.
There's a whole world out there that you can just go and explore.
Everyone sees things a certain way, you know, like for instance, I could take Dakota to a spot that I've been to a million times and I would think I've seen everything, but he just sees something just a little bit differently.
Creativity is really the first thing that comes to mind when I think of street riding.
Basically just used your own mind to create the spots and exactly what you wanted to do. It was up to you. It was complete freedom.
I don't know. I feel like street riding is hard to just describe to someone.
My mind is so obsessed, maybe not even with spots, with BMX, with riding things and spots that, like, I'll be in the dentist looking at the ceiling and for some reason I'll be riding at, like, the grooves or the cracks in the plastic. Like, I'll see like a quarter pipe or a cable right there and I'll be thinking of things to do on that. Like, you just can't ever turn it off. You could look at a leaf and see that leaf's a transition. Like, not even spots to spots, just anything. Your mind just creates spots.
Street spot's just a unique setup that you don't find anywhere else. It's only in that one place, and the only reason you found it is because you were out riding your bike.
Perception of the environment, all over the place, either way. Anything that's not grass, dirt, urban style, in the cities, in the industrial, in the cities, outside of the cities.
More intense sort of riding. You definitely have a different eye for everything you see.
It's a product of its environment, so if you live in a city, you're a lot luckier in terms of having a lot of condensed interests and obstacles. You live in the countryside, it doesn't mean you can't be a street rider. It's a mindset. It's the way you look at things.
It's endless, all over the place.
People are oblivious to what we see. And I ask people that quit BMX that, like, you know, like all the riders like 50, you know, does it ever turn off? Like, no. I still walk down the street and, like, I'm with my family and I'll just be like, oh, rail, stairs, ah. That you just can't, we're just born with this thing in our brain, or we develop this thing in our brain that you can't turn off. I don't know road names. If someone asks me for directions to Liverpool, I'm like, no, so you turn right at that 12 stair, and then drop it right at the green handrail after that.
We gotta have something crazy with a crazy bank to something, or a crazy handrail or something, but it could be anything. It could be jumping off a curb cut.
In some way, your brain just like, can I ride that, you know? Like,
the line between genius and madman, isn't it? Like, some person could walk past that rail and think, it's bent, what's the point? And the next BMX comes and look, that rail's bent, that's perfect, I can do this.
Kind of smell spots, I can't describe it. It's like a spider sense.
You definitely do become like pretty obsessive with just constantly looking for something to ride. As much as there's like the good spots and all that stuff, like spots get old, so you're always just trying to find something new.
To explore something right, you gotta really, you can't pass nothing up. You gotta go everywhere.
I love that, the buzz of being in a fresh city and just riding on a street that you've never been down before and just getting that tingle, and you're just like, you know you're near to something. You might not find it, but you know it's there.
I think it'll be there when I'm like 60 years old, just with my grandkids or some bullshit, like just looking at spots like constantly, you know?
To the normal world, they'll never understand what we do.
I already know, just based on like my experiences, like traveling so much and seeing so many different places and being in so many like situations that a lot of people don't get to be in. Like, I already know that that's like educated me a lot more in like things that are a lot more relative to my life than like what you would learn in school. You're doing yourself a favor for the long run, but the stuff that I learn kind of in the moment where I'm at, it's like priceless information, you know, one way or another. And the things that I see, it's just like, I feel like it's like giving me like an experience, and like kind of like it's just like a different feeling that I can't really explain.
we're constantly traveling, we're constantly being able to see new things, new places, but at the same time, you have to put in work every day, pretty much. It's like kind of like a job, sort of. I mean, in the sense that like you want to go out and put in work every day. From back whenever I was a kid, I'm still doing the exact same thing. It's just a little bit different, like now some days I wake up and it's like, well, my body hurts. I don't want to ride, really, Some days in the morning, it's like I get up and I'm just kind of feel like shit. But get going, get moving, and you just kind of almost force yourself to get going, and then you have fun and you end up riding and doing stuff.
That's way before you even get to the spot. Packing the car or getting your stuff ready, getting to the spot. You could be going to a spot that you've already picked out. Like you could be going to a spot you genuinely already knew you wanted to go to, and then when you get there that you have to kind of mentally prepare yourself for what you want to do. There's 10 other things that could go wrong between there and before you've even started to set up for filming.
It couldn't be any truer, the mind over matter thing. Like you really could push through anything. Like I've seen people get their trick after they broke a bone, which is crazy. You know what I mean? Because like from like a normal person's standpoint or from a doctor's standpoint, that doesn't even make sense. It's like you're done after that. But I've seen people push through it. Me personally, I'm battling this knee that I keep smashing, and it hurts when I'm not riding, but when I'm out there and I'm trying to get a trick, I can push it out completely, and I'm just focusing on the riding aspect of it. And this is just basically like not even in the realm of my thinking when I'm really focused on what I'm doing.
I'm definitely a believer that BMX is more mental. I mean, far more mental than it is physical. Physical is a big aspect, but to try something that scares you or that you've never tried before, to stare down a rail and try and visualize quite what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. Think about what can go wrong, how it's going to go wrong, and then stop yourself from going down that avenue, bring it back, and then to just break through the barrier to actually try that trick. Everyone has their own rules, their own games about how to break through it. And sometimes it takes hours just to try that first attempt, and sometimes you can do it first go. They say, oh, rail, trick at the end, what's so hard about that? I mean, they don't understand the psychological impact of going to such a famous rail, to trying to stamp your name among the people that have done the craziest shit on the planet down that rail. Is the first battle just getting out the car and looking at it, and then to know you're going to crash, to spend the hours trying to do the trick that you want to do the way you want to do it. You're constantly striving to repeat that feeling, to achieve your goals and to set new ones for yourself. It's a never-ending cycle. The elevated high after pulling a trick you've been dreaming of for a long time is pure pleasure mixed with severe emotional draining. Like, I think I'm just locked in my own world. I can barely talk. I'm just so happy and so lost in the moment that, like, I might not be able to talk or function properly for the next half an hour. You're on a different plane of existence almost.
It lives in you, and it I don't know, that's what drives you to do those things that you do.
It depends how much you want something and what you're prepared to do to get it. if you're at a point where you can still go, but you're in pain, like you can kind of push through it. And it wasn't until afterwards where I realised I was like, shit, this is, yeah, I'm hurting right now. If you do take a crash and it's something you want to do, you are, you know, when you go back up, it's not just you're physically beaten and, you know, you're physically drained, you're mentally drained as well. There's always that thing in the back of your mind that you've got to overcome again. It's like, no, I'm doing it again. I'm doing it until I get it.
I don't know. For me, sometimes like just weighing on my mind, because I feel like going back to a spot multiple times during a trip trying to get something, it's almost like it's like a hit to your confidence kind of thing sometimes, you know, because you're like, well, what the fuck, like, why can't I do this, you know? I know I can.
You know, when the police show up, you know, you're trying to get something, you're trying to be in that mindset where you're like literally, I remember someone saying, yeah, cops are coming, you gotta do it now.
$5,000. It's a 3-foot gap between that and what's below it. These things will pivot. They will break. Do you have $5,000 to replace it? Because I guarantee we will come after you to pay to replace it if you're the one who breaks it. Okay.
You could go somewhere, you could have 5 crashes and have to walk away from something, and that's stressful. At the end of the day, as much as you do enjoy riding your bike and, you know, it's fun and you were doing it as a kid and you still do it to this day, you need to go in, I guess. Like you need to kind of switch on and get stuff done.
There's so much more going on behind the scenes that no one will ever know about unless they've been there.
So I think if people really knew what went into like a 3 or 4 second clip,
people will see the video and they'll see the riding, they'll see the music, they'll get a feel for it, but they won't get a feel for what was going on that day.
Pushing through everything to get what you want to accomplish, you know, like you're pushing through injuries, you're pushing through like trying tricks for hours and hours, and really all just to make something that you're happy with.
Crazy amount of self-motivation and self-discipline to keep doing what you do, despite the crashes, despite not pulling tricks.
It's really just learning how to, I guess, like train your brain to be 100% focused on what's in front of you.
Pain does put your mind in a weird place.
Let the injuries drive you, because if you let those detract, like take away from you, then you've let them win. Like you need to let them fuel your fire to pull that trick.
Because sometimes you'll be rolling up to it and you're just like, all right, let's do this, I got it. And then sometimes you roll up to it and you're like, you can't visualize it in your head. And I guess that's the other thing, is visualizing stuff. Because like for me, if I can't visualize every aspect of doing the trick in my head and like rolling up to it and it feels good, then you just can't do it. Like you can't just roll up to something. Like if you're rolling up to a rail about to do it and it just doesn't feel right, like you don't feel right, most of the time that's when you eat shit. It's weird, like sometimes you gotta listen to that and sometimes you gotta turn it off, and you just kind of have to know, I guess, your confidence level or whatever. You gotta know what you're capable of.
I know the times that when I do clear my mind, those are the times that I'm like, I know I'm riding better than I ever have.
That's what helps you get through the pain and through like the times when you're like really wanting to quit, but there's that little bit of, I don't know, drive in you that's like, no, I can do this, you know.
I'm caving in. Live with the trouble, man.
as I can get like that much, I'm stoked. But if not, that's fine with me. I like the fisheye angle of it, so. Hit my butt really hard. I hit my butt so hard I saw stars. Yeah, there's a lot of consequences, but the reward outweighs it by so much that you push through whatever to get to it.
Learning how to crash is a big one, I think. Like, you know, you kind of figure it out.
To learn which parts of your body don't hurt when you land on them, and to be able to roll, duck and dive your way out of a dangerous situation. It applies to car crashes, tripping over when you're walking down the street, or anything that you're doing.
You've got to be ready to land a trick, but on the same token, you've also got to be ready to, you know, take a crash at some point. You know, you've got to be ready for that.
When I'm on a trip, I do enjoy crashing. I mean, you get to a certain point on a road trip where midway through, you're so exhausted and you're in so much pain from falling that you can't feel any worse. It's like you've reached rock bottom, but you're still determined to ride. And that is the best feeling, because you can't feel any worse. You can only feel better. You can only feel the high of landing the tricks. You can't hurt yourself anymore. It's almost as if you're numb to the pain.
If you're a man, I'd punch you.
That's a form of self-discipline that kids, you know, you develop from a young age. Like, you know, whenever you start riding, skateboarding, anything you're doing, you develop a self-discipline.
It's definitely just a process, you know. It's not something that you can just do. You kind of have to learn from a young age. It changes your perception on life a little bit, in the way that I guess I feel like we probably have a little bit higher reaction times to certain situations. Driving in the car and there's, you know, the railroad tracks and the things are going down, and I don't know why my first instinct was hit the gas. So I like sped through but I don't know why my first instinct is like, I got this, let's do it, you know.
This ground is terrible.
Everyone deals with the frustrations of not being able to pull a trick differently. Lacey and Dak slightly more vocal about their frustrations.
Everyone freaks out. Don't care who it is, who you are, how good you are, what you ride. Everyone freaks out.
I never get angry. Like, I love what I do, and I'm just thankful to be doing it. If you did every trick first try, there would be no challenge. There'd be no, I'd take the fun out of it.
It's going to take its toll mentally on someone, and you do feel like you have to let it out almost, because you do feel a little bit better for it if you do have a little bit of a fit.
I'm more internal.
When you're filming, there's different pressures that you have to deal with, and I guess some people deal with them a lot better. Like, I could be 2 hours into trying something, like legitimately 2.5 hours or something crazy like that, and I will be losing my mind.
This right here? That hurt.
Claro. No hay cabeza.
No cabeza.
No cabeza.
No cabeza.
No cabeza. Hey. ¿Vale? Okay.
BMX in general is like progressing at such a fast rate now that like with every part that you film, you really have to be pushing yourself even more, and it's just the constant progression makes it harder to get tricks for sure, but then it's like a lot more rewarding because you might have gone to a spot 3 times to get the trick that you wanted, but then when you get it, it's just like the celebration after is like, yes, like it's really a roller coaster is what it is, you know?
I want this so bad.
Yeah, the feeling that you get after you land something, especially something that you're scared of or, you know, are really psyched on. Maybe that's what it is, like that addiction to just like that feeling, you know, that you get of the little bit of unsureness, like, I know I can do this, I hope it works out. What you're always after, what you're always chasing is that feeling, you know.
Yeah. Got everything apart from my bollocks.
I met her in the station. She knows every place I've been. She's so good at teaching right from wrong. She don't let me come right in. She wants to ride the highway to the place she never stayed. In the morning when the time has come, her and I go find our way. It's Katie May, it's Katie May, it's Katie May, it's Katie May. We stopped in for shelter to get out of the rain. There she was on the telephone, and she just spoke my name. We snuck out the back door, and that's all the rain. By the time we hit the outskirts of town, our troubles gon' fade away. It's Katie May, it's Katie May, it's Katie May, it's Katie
We have you on film riding a bike, riding skateboard. I was dispatched to come up here. Okay, I didn't make it up. They called me, you're on film and camera. What does that lifestyle white sign say?
No bicycling.
There you go.
So lifestyling does not entitle bicycle riding. I'm sitting there and they're
not
taking
on
photos.
state property.
You know, dealing with security all the time is something that is like a daily occurrence with us, I feel like. I guess it just kind of comes with what we do, because technically it's like
100% illegal, you know, like in some places what we do is kind of illegal.
I mean, we damage property, make a lot of noise, like alter spots. I mean, we're not inconsiderate, it's just, this is what we do and it's how we do it. Sometimes that does involve bending rules occasionally.
And I think a lot of them just roll up on you and they just look at you like you're like dirtbag, pretty much. Probably because you're tearing up their property and because, you know, you're a grown man on a bicycle.
The security aspect is completely different between Nashville and Tokyo. Tokyo, the security, they don't really have a clue what we're doing, which is pretty funny when they do come out flying. Like, they come running for you, but then do absolutely nothing. In Nashville, they're very relaxed about it, but if we get caught, like Nathan's more so is in a lot of trouble. Us being out of towners can probably blag it. Everywhere you go on the way out, the security are completely different, and some are cool, some are dicks.
If it's a cop and he rolls up on you and he's like, obviously has some sort of issues or something like that, if he's giving you mouth, just sit there and take it. I mean, I've sat there before with security guards just literally reaming me, like telling me like I'm nothing, like why don't you get a job, why don't you, you know, just all these things, and it's just, all right man, sorry, we'll leave.
My general policy for security is to be as calm and polite as possible. I mean, obviously I'm there in the wrong situation and I know that, they're just trying to do their job. There should be a mutual respect, just ask you to leave politely, we'll happily oblige. You know, we'll try and come to a compromise where we can come back and get what we need to do done and they don't have to lose face at all. I mean, some security guards you can bribe off, others you can ask when they leave. No matter where you go, security normally is an issue nowadays, and day to day you've got to work with them. They might not like their job, they might not want to kick you out, but if their boss tells them to, they have to keep their job, and sometimes you just got to remember that.
That's kind of how you're paying your bills, though, is running from the cops. It's kind of rad.
Oh my god! Oh shit! Dude! Oh my god!
You know, you only live once, and the opportunity to do something that you did as a little kid and just something that is your passion doesn't come around every day, you know, and it doesn't come around to a lot of people, I've realized. I feel very lucky that I'm in the position to be able to do that, and I feel like if you are, you have to just go in 100%, you know, like, because it doesn't come around that often, you know.
You know, you've got to make yourself happy as possible with that time you get on this earth. And I don't want to be that person on my deathbed thinking, shit, I should have tried that, I should have done that. Like, I'm going to go and give it absolutely everything I've got every day. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. That's just the cards I've been dealt.
Something that you're passionate about and something that you care so deeply about that you're into just like basically making it your whole life and, you know, taking everything that comes with it.
Obviously it'll all come to an end at some point, but that's just what happens. That's like the life cycle, isn't it? You know, like everything comes to an end. I mean, it's life experiences, you know, like I would never take back one thing that, you know, I've gotten to do with BMX. Like if it ended tomorrow, I'd be so happy. Like I've gotten to see and do so much, meet so many cool people. I guess whenever it does end, it's going to be sad, but that just means a new chapter, you know, like life goes on. And whether I'll be doing something in the BMX industry or outside of it, I'm still excited. I mean, for what has happened and what will happen, you know.